Cassie's in South Africa filming Honey 3. And she allegedly has been avoiding Puffy. And, you know, my thing about when you date a mogul is that it's really difficult to avoid them because if you use your head, you never know when they're gonna pop up on the scene. Like he's mogul, like he can hire a plane right now, zoom it to South Africa, land on the roof of the hotel where she's staying, okay? Pay people off at the front desk, give me the key and let me up in her room. Like I'm already paranoid.
Just when we thought Katt Williams was done exposing the industry, he just stepped into the chat again to spill the real tea behind Wendy's sudden illness and conservatorship. And guess what? It turns out Diddy was behind all of it. Diddy never liked Wendy because she was the first to blow the whistle about his DL activities and infamous freak-off parties, back when everyone still saw him as a mogul and respectable family man. He hated Wendy so much that he paid millions of dollars to radio stations all over New York not to hire her. He put a hit on her and even threatened to have her son, Kevin Jr., who was still 16 at the time, touched on inappropriately by grown men. Initially, Wendy was fighting him alone, but Katt Williams stepped into the chat, and he's ready to do everything to protect her.
Those pictures of the dude pulling his pants down, and it looked like some gay act that was going on. He got on the phone. He said, let me tell you this. When I get back to New York City, if she's on the radio station, he's talking to a radio executive. He said the same thing to he said, nobody that I deal with, nobody that I know is gonna do anything with y'all, no business at all. It ain't gonna be no artist, no nothing gonna come. He's telling people that at a radio station. When we got back to New York City, Wendy Williams was in Philly. At a new station.
That right there was Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, spilling the tea about the time Diddy went out of his way to get Wendy fired and chased out of New York after she accused him of getting oral work from another man. Wendy made these wild claims on radio, and once Diddy heard about it, he gave her hell for it. According to Wendy, someone had sent her explicit photos of Diddy and another man doing the you-know-what during his vacation in Mexico. Mind you, this was back in the 90s, so folks didn't react very well to a rapper possibly being gay.
She got fired from Hot 97 because she had a picture of Puffy. So if you don't mind, give me the story from your point of view, and what was in the picture?
We were in Cancun. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. Some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like he was something like that. She was gonna put it out. Wendy had shown people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her before he got back in New York, that they was not gonna get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was gonna boycott their station. We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. She was fired.
Now, even though she never put out those pictures, she definitely didn't hold back from making people aware that Diddy was behind her getting fired and blackballed.
A very homosexual era of hip hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now, so.
Oh, and remember what I said about him getting Wendy jumped? Well, Diddy knew he would get in trouble if he put his hands on Wendy himself, so he sent the members of a girl group that was signed to his label at the time to pull up and jump her.
Here one day, and them total were downstairs waiting, and everybody upstairs at the radio station is looking down, egging it on, waiting for something to go down. I wasn't yet married. My knight in shining armor screeched up in his car just out of nowhere. I didn't even know what was about to happen. I'm standing in the door like, what? And I'm literally about to go through. Now, I'm not like, what, let's fight, because I'm not one of those type of broads. And plus, there was 3 of them. The little Chinese man that drove the van, they were coming. There was no security or anything. It was just them 3 fighting broads. And me. And my coworkers at SHOT standing upstairs trying to look down to see it all jump off. They all knew. When I said goodnight to everybody, everybody's pressed up against the window. I didn't even walk or bother asking, what are you all looking for? Because, you know, when the clock strikes, it's time to go. It is time to go. I didn't get a chance to hit the sidewalk before I knew it, out of nowhere. And there's a whole bunch of rah-rah going on outside, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And I send Cower and Skell out on the sidewalk, and he comes back in and says, it's total outside. And they were about to set it on you.
And remember the time 19-year-old Shine took the fall for Diddy for that club incident? Wendy was the only one who was brave enough to question the whole thing and demand for Diddy and J-Lo to be investigated more.
Out of the club so fast and got into the waiting SUV that it wasn't until he got into the truck that he realized that he left Jennifer behind, along with his bodyguard, Anthony Wolf. He just like ran. You know, forget it. That's a true sign of an itch bag, by the way. You know, leaving as well.
I thought it was an unk pay.
Well, eventually, Jennifer and Wolf made their way to the SUV without Puffy.
Right.
They ran 11 lights to elude the cops. Supposedly it was Puffy, although people are saying they saw a female hand tossing a the window. And then when the cops stopped them, they found a second gun, of course, in the car.
Right.
All four of the occupants, the driver, the bodyguard, Puffy and Jennifer, were handcuffed and taken down to the precinct. And eventually, Puffy and his bodyguard, Wolf, were overheard talking about their plot to bribe the driver to take the rap for the... And Puffy was overheard saying, and I quote, because the prosecutor said this, "I can't go to jail, I'm Puff Daddy."
He was arrested with a deadly weapon. And
What's even more disturbing about Wendy and Diddy's feud is that it wasn't just the DL activities and substance-filled freak-offs that she exposed about him. She also put out a lot of hints about him mistreating Cassie.
Puffy wants Cassie back. Oh, it's been all over social media. Puffy posted a picture of Michael Jackson's song, Lady in My Life, and wrote, "If anyone sees Cassie this weekend, please tell her to listen to this song 100 times. I suggest don't use social media, though, to reach out. I think this is a grand overture from Puffy. I don't believe he really wants her back. I believe he probably treated her at some particular point like a possession, like a possession. And if you really care, then you'd reach out privately, not publicly.
Real bad. Real bad blood.
The worst blood.
The worst blood. You almost wanted to run you out of New York at one point, right? Well, not run, you know, like push you out of New York at one point. He had you ran out. You give him full credit for that? Okay, cool. He had you ran out of New York.
One thing about Wendy, she might tell a joke, but she never tells a lie. Except this time she wasn't even joking. Love her or hate her, she knew Diddy like the back of her hand and he hated her for it. In fact, around the same time she did the interview, admitting to Diddy running her out of New York, she actually brought Diddy on her own show, and you could tell there was a lot of tension in the room. Word on the street is she didn't even want to do this interview, but Diddy had pulled some strings to be on the show, leaving her with no choice but to have him.
I must say it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And I want to just tell you how proud I am of you, because I don't think you get enough credit for being the first one to really cover our culture. You know, hip-hop culture and also hip-hop celebrities shedding light on our culture and our people, and thank you very much.
Now, obviously, Diddy couldn't come for Wendy using the same tactics he used in the past. So this time, he came for her by sending subtle threats to her son, and then eventually going on to ruin her life and career. People brought up this extremely creepy interaction between Diddy and Wendy, when she got visibly nervous and began stuttering after he brought up her son, who was just 16 at the time.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Who I met backstage,
He did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
You represent a lot.
Word is, Diddy deliberately made her aware that he saw her son backstage, as a way to warn her to stay out of his business or he was going to come for her by going after her son. And judging from Wendy's reaction, she definitely got the memo. When it was later announced that Wendy had been diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia, people couldn't help but wonder if Diddy had something to do with it.
You know what that is, correct?
I know.
Okay, you don't know lymphedema? All right, I'll show you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, Lymphedema is this. Do you see this right here? Look.
Okay.
No, look closely.
Right.
Hold up, please. Hold up. I can't hold it higher. Do you see?
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
Okay, do you see this?
Yes.
All right, it's up and down. Okay. Okay, that is, I can only feel maybe 5%.
Now, if y'all remember, Wells Fargo froze all her bank accounts in 2022 because they suspected that several people in Wendy's team were stealing from her by making unauthorized transactions without her knowledge.
About my money. And when I began asking questions about my money, suddenly Lori Schiller has got no response regarding my money. I want my money. This is not fair. And Wells Fargo has no questions and answers with regarding my money. This is not fair. And Lori Schiller and Wells Fargo have this guardianship petition about keeping me away from my money. And this guy named Bernie Young, I know for a fact that Bernie Young used my American Express card to hire an attorney to file a petition against me. That was done with my American Express card. A former doctor had medical information about me that I never even got. It was sent over to Lori Schiller. I fired the doctor, and again, all I want to know is where is my money? This is not right.
Another reason why people pointed at Diddy for being responsible for Wendy's suffering was because her son, Kevin Jr., also revealed that the doctors said her illness was deteriorating as fast as it was because she was still taking a lot of alcohol. Apparently, her whole team knows about this, but they continue to still supply her with alcohol and other substances. At the time, Wendy could barely even walk, so that means someone was deliberately giving her that alcohol, knowing good and well that it was going to make her condition worse. Word on the street is that whoever that person was being paid off by Diddy to keep her sick.
They basically said that because she was drinking so much, it was starting to affect her headspace and her brain. I think they said it was alcohol-induced dementia.
People couldn't help but compare the entire thing to what Britney Spears and Kanye West also went through. Britney revealed in a court that her family deliberately misdiagnosed her and filled her with crazy amounts of lithium, which they later used as proof that Britney was unwell.
And I would honestly like to sue my family, to be totally honest with you. I also would like to be able to share my story with the world and what they did to me instead of it being a hush-hush secret to benefit all of them. I want to be able to be heard on what they did to me by making me keep this in for so long is not good for my heart. I've been so angry and I cry every day. It concerns me. I'm told I'm not allowed to expose the people who did this to me. For my sanity, I need you to the judge to approve me, do an interview where I can be heard on what they did to me. And actually, I have the right to use my voice and take up for myself. My attorney says I can't, it's not good. I can't let the public know anything they did to me. And by not saying anything is saying it's okay. I don't know what I said here. It's not okay. I don't want to interview. I'd much rather just have an open call to you for the press to hear, which I didn't know today we're doing.
And then there was Kanye, who said he was also prescribed a high dose of lithium even though he wasn't sick.
They tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me. And they when I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears too. I mean, look.
They would have Michael Jackson,
or worse, yeah. So look at what they did. Look at what they did to Britney. When she went in, she was tired, she was exhausted, she was in a bad way. But 10 years of that medication wrecked her brain. You can see it now. You can see there's not much of her left.
And of course, we can't forget Dave Chappelle, who literally ran to Africa and refused to tell anybody, including his own family, about where he was, because some Hollywood elites were on the manhunt to find him and shove a bunch of antipsychotic down his throat after he turned down a shady $50 million deal.
I'm gonna leave, so I got ahead of schedule, and I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. I said, I'm not taking this medicine, man, because I know these people be trying to control you or maybe discredit you. I was afraid, like, you know.
But you were stressed out. That's why.
There's no question. But it's very stressful for someone to constantly walk behind you and say, you're insane.
Well, as I said, Katt is done letting this slide. And according to sources, he has been in touch with Wendy and even reportedly financing her treatments.
Because in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing...
You will tell it?
No, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that, I value that, I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all...
Can y'all imagine all the tea Wendy would have spilled about Diddy now if she wasn't in this situation? If she was brave enough to expose him back when no one could, imagine what she would have said now that everyone knows the kind of person he is. One person said, "They're gradually offing Wendy Williams. It's so painful to watch. Her family and friends need to do something really fast to save her." Another person said, "They hit Wendy with some sort of weaponized germ that made her condition like that. It's a slow kill. They are deactivating her." But now I want to know your thoughts on this. What do you think about Wendy suddenly falling sick right before Diddy went down? And do y'all believe what Katt is reportedly saying about Diddy having a hand in Wendy's suffering? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.